Hey guys, we're in the French colonial old town part of Kampot in Cambodia, and we're gonna have a little look around here today, and I want to show you some things. Let's go. So here's the old bridge crossing the river that flows through Kampot. Behind there you can see there's a bit of white sand. They're dumping tons of it there to make an artificial beach. Down this way the river flows out to the sea. There's an island where the river splits in two, and this is the old town. Starts right about here. Let's have a little wander through. So I just got in from Phnom Penh, came in on a van, and it was really great actually. The last time I was here was 6 years ago, and it was really hard then. It took 5 hours to try to get through that way in a van. And the first time I came here was 11 years ago, and in that time there weren't really many tourists. This wasn't paved like this. This beautiful river walk wasn't here, and basically nothing was renovated at all. There was pretty much one backpackers type place, maybe a couple other ones actually, but one really good one. And that was about it really. It wasn't set up for tourism at all. That was 11 years ago. When I came back 6 years ago, couldn't believe my eyes. That's because that was when thousands and thousands, or tens of thousands, I'm not sure, of mainland Chinese people had descended on Sihanoukville, which is very close to here. And Sihanoukville had been very popular with expats, and when it started getting really popular with Chinese, it really changed the place. Lots of casinos opened up, and a lot of money came in from China. Things started changing so much, and so much development, so many new buildings were going up, and it became a really terrible place because all the streets were ripped up. They were putting in new piping, new streets, new electric, new everything, all with Chinese money. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, but or maybe in the next video. But basically all the expats jumped ship. They all got out of there, and a lot of them came here. So this place had been a sleepy backwater. Then, yeah, when I came here the second time 6 years ago, suddenly I saw it was all filled up with little cafes and restaurants and guest houses, similar to what you see now actually with these kinds of places, set up by Europeans, Americans and so on. And it was okay, it was done well, you know, comfortable and kind of cool. Prices were reasonable, but yeah, it obviously changed the place from being just this totally authentic, whatever that is, like rundown place that had been neglected since the Khmer Rouge time, into what's now a really key location on the Southeast Asia backpacker trail. So I'm back, and we're gonna see what changes have happened. I've noticed some changes already. Coming into the town, this place is a lot bigger. Lots of development. The town is really spread out. Looks like a lot of Cambodians from other parts of the country have moved here. This place that was just considered a kind of neglected backwater, once it became cool with all the foreigners, and a lot of money that they put into it started to flow. Seems like it became popular with the Cambodians as well. So this place is taking off, and let's hope they'll do a good job with it, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah, there's a lot of new construction, and it remains to be seen if it's going to work out, that it fits in harmoniously with the old French stuff. Kampot's a real gem. It's yeah, I would say definitely a must-see place if you're passing through the region. There's a lot more guest houses here, that's for sure. Sorry. See, the motorcyclists are more polite here. They don't just run you down. I love it. You might have seen when I said hello at the beginning, I was wearing a kind of purple checkered scarf. It's not just any purple checkered scarf. It's a Cambodian krama, one of the cheap synthetic ones that the real Cambodian rice farmers actually wear, not one of the expensive silk ones from the tourist markets, which are actually not that expensive, but you know, I'm quite stingy, so anyway, no, I just like to dress like a rice farmer, so you know what I mean? Anyway, oh, last chance bar. It's closed. There goes my last chance. Never mind. Well, it's actually starting to rain a little bit, but the sun is still shining at the same time. It's pretty warm. I guess it's just a little sun shower, but we'll see. Yeah, as you can see, there are signs of renovations happening. Obviously, the place is taking off. And in the old town, at least, it looks really good. Everything's done fairly in a fairly sensitive way so far. So I can say, from what I've seen so far, it's changed. The old town has changed a bit since I was last here, for sure. But not as much change between now and then as there was between then and the time before.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Quite well.
You can speak good English or just only walk on the street, mate?
Thanks, man. Some really great architecture in this town. Hello. This is the central market. Well, this is obviously new. I wouldn't say this is exactly sensitive in the way that they've built that. It doesn't really fit in, does it? It's kind of weird. Would be cool if it was out on the edge of town a bit more. So 11 years ago, this area, at this time of day, there was almost nothing, really. You'd be struggling to find a bowl of noodles. Now it's got tons and tons of options for food and drink. Really, it was just set up for the locals 11 years ago. As much as I really enjoyed getting back to see Phnom Penh again, it's really relaxing to be here. Even with the guy riding past with the megaphone. But still, yes, Phnom Penh was hectic. Yeah, pretty crazy. And prices have skyrocketed there for basic stuff, you know, bowls of noodles and so on, in the tourist area at least. Now you can see a bunch of buildings along here have not really changed. They're still in the way how it pretty much used to be. Okay, let's head down this way a little bit. If we had continued going forward instead of turning right here, 11 years ago, if you went a couple more blocks that way, it was the best spot to find some cheap local food. But I walked past there earlier and it's quite different now. It's very built up with new construction and so on. You can see this place on the corner on the right. Everything looked like this 11 years ago, but you didn't see brand new SUVs parked out front. Basically, everything was very, very basic. There's a few more old buildings out that way, but they're not all packed together like in this part of the town. So we're doing a real best of type walk here. If you walk up and down the riverfront, like another block or two from what I've shown you, there are a few larger size French colonial administration type buildings from the old days. Wonder where they're going. It's like all my life, whenever I have seen an airplane flying over, I always wonder, where's it going, right? And how do the people feel? They must be excited. Wow. So they've got basically a food market here now. There's way more foreigners here than there were 6 years ago, which is obviously good for the economy. There's the Durian Monument down there, where there's a traffic circle, which is kind of the center of Kampot. But we want to stick to the oldest part, so let's just head a little bit further along here. Hi, Prince Bank. This must be that Nigerian bank that I've heard about from these guys with these emails. Oh man. 2000, eh? 2000 what? Well, there's a lot more new shiny cars in Cambodia these days, that's for sure. That's a noticeable change. The roads are so much better. So yeah, I think I was saying earlier, it was much easier getting in here from Phnom Penh. It took 3 hours instead of 5 hours like last time. That was fantastic. Part of the reason would be that they built an expressway now, which actually cuts it down to 2 hours, but the bus companies don't seem to use it. Not that it was a problem, I'm quite okay with a 3-hour trip. That's pretty mild. And the quality of the vehicle use was a lot better than what I've ever seen in Cambodia. Normally, in the past, you'd be stuck in a real beat-up old van, like totally overcrowded, with all boxes and stuff stuck under your feet. Or a broken up, dingy old bus with bits falling off. Here's an example of an old classic style Cambodian house made from wood. You see these types of houses in the countryside as you pass through it. Quite charming little places. Those kinds of places should be preserved as well, not just the big old French colonial buildings. Get a cheap haircut there, I'm sure. It says free style. If you need some style. Well, it's time to get moving. I don't want to wait around looking for a van or whatever to get to the next place. So I'm just gonna walk across the old bridge here and try to hitchhike. Actually, I'm gonna try to get on through to Sihanoukville. It's about 110 kilometers, should be no problem. Very cool old bridge, obviously from the French colonial times. They built a new one out there on the right, and earlier I mentioned they're dumping tons of sand there to make a kind of artificial beach. I guess if they put some kind of net in the water to rope off an area, it could make a okay bathing area. I don't know, I assume the water is not too bad around here, but it's hard to say. All right, I'm gonna push on down the end of this road, and then there's another road that comes from the modern bridge over there and joins to this one, and then to the left it goes towards Sihanoukville. So I'm going to try to catch a ride. Alright, I got a ride with some really cool guys, and we're heading through to Sihanoukville now. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.